Ohayo, konnichiwa, konbanwa. Hi everyone, welcome back to JFTN, Japan Fishing Tackle News. This time, although it is a slightly older model, Shimano's surf fishing brand Nessa has announced the entry-level model, the Nessa SS, in 2024. So, in this video, we'll be introducing an impression and review of the Shimano Nessa XR. Please note that this product review represents the personal opinions of the JFTN staff and is not exhaustive. We hope you take it as just one perspective among many. The Shimano Nessa XR is a mid-range rod designed for surf game fishing. While higher-priced reels generally offer better luxury and usability, higher-priced rods often become more specialized. Therefore, this model can be considered a higher-class rod that offers a versatile range of use. The XR model features Shimano's familiar blank structure, Spiral X core, as well as High Power X to reduce rod twisting, and a screw lock joint that makes the rod easier to assemble and disassemble. It also includes a lightweight yet strong reel seat made from Shimano's unique carbon material CI4+, and the standout feature of this model, the carbon monocoque grip, which enhances sensitivity through its carbon material and hollow construction. The blanks use Terre's nano-alloy technology, combining lightness and strength. For guides, the rod is equipped with K-guides featuring stainless steel frames, which are resistant to line troubles. Now, let's take the rod out of the rod bag. The first thing I noticed is how incredibly light it is. The model I chose is the long S112M+, which is 11 feet 2 inches in length and capable of casting metal jigs up to 48 grams. But it feels surprisingly light. This Nessa is a 3-piece model, making it easy to transport for short trips or excursions. The reel seat is made from CI4+ carbon. The gold accents here and there add a touch of luxury. The specifications of the rod are listed on the upper part of the reel seat. The pattern of the carbon blanks looks really cool. Since it's a long rod, it does have a considerable thickness. However, it's surprisingly light. And this is the carbon monocoque grip end. The surface is coated with a non-slip finish. The inside is hollow, which helps to reflect vibrations and enhance sensitivity. Only the butt guide features a double-foot frame for added strength. The other guides use single-foot K-frames. The screw lock joint section has dots indicating the locking points. The connection area appears to be quite long. The tip section is quite thin and firm. Despite its light weight, it has surprisingly good rigidity, giving the tip a sharp and responsive feel overall. Now, speaking of carbon monocoque grips, the Zodius base rod also features one. Let's compare the grip ends of these two rods. The Zodius is a relatively short model, so the end grip is also shorter, with a shorter grip coating. Additionally, the sound produced is a bit higher pitched, likely due to its shorter and narrower design. In contrast, the Nessa XR is overall longer. The grip coating is slightly longer as well. The sound produced is lower pitched compared to the Zodius. However, due to the longer carbon hollow section, the Nessa XR seems to have a slightly richer resonance. Okay, now let's use this outside. Now, let's assemble it outside. This is the screw lock joint. Once you insert the joint parts to a certain extent, you rotate them to align these points with each other, completing the lock. Conversely, if you misalign them, the parts come apart easily. It really works that way. I'm amazed by how it works. What's the principle behind it? Let's connect the tip section as well. Like the previous joint, it also uses a screw lock joint. Oh, it came apart. Maybe I didn't insert it enough? This time, it seems to be securely in place. As expected, it doesn't come apart when twisted. Let's take it out to the surf and give it a try. This time, I'll be using a reel from a previous generation, the 2018 Stella C3000 XG. First, I'll cast a surf lure with this reel, which is spooled with braid PE 1.2 line. The first model we'll use is the Jado Products Erda Garuru 132F, a floating minnow. It has a small integrated lip that allows it to make a strong presentation just below the surface. All right, first cast. It really has a lot of responsiveness. The long length and the rod's recovery power seem to contribute to the long casting performance. However, it's quite stiff, so you should be mindful of bending it properly all the way to the butt during casts. The vibration of the Garuru minnow is also transmitted quite well. However, I'm not sure how much the carbon monocoque grip amplifies this sensation. The sensitivity feels solid, so there may be benefits, but I don't have a strong sense of a specific improvement. Additionally, since the grip end is lighter, there's a slight feeling that the balance is shifted towards the tip. The Stella is a full metal and heavier reel, but the C3000 size might be a bit too light for this rod. Still, it's more of a minor issue and doesn't make the rod difficult to use. It remains quite functional. The tip felt quite responsive when touched by hand, but it actually bends more than I expected. The overall sharpness might be aimed at enhancing sensitivity. With softer rods like glass rods, it's relatively easier to use the rod's entire flex for casting. However, this flexibility can sometimes sacrifice sensitivity. This rod, being stiffer, seems to offer higher overall sensitivity. You can clearly feel where the lure is in the waves and the sensation of it hitting the bottom. Additionally, when the rod lightly enters a groove from right to left, there's a momentary loss of tension, giving a sense of the current swirling. Next, I'll try the Dual Hardcore Monster Shot 95mm, a sinking pencil. This 40-gram heavy pencil lure is known for its wide and pronounced tail action, which makes a strong presentation to attract fish. Indeed, when casting a lure close to the maximum weight limit with the C3000, there's a noticeable tip-heavy feel. Without maintaining the correct casting posture, it seems like the tip doesn't achieve its full speed. However, despite this, the rod's length and responsiveness, combined with the lure's weight, make for impressive casting distance. I chose the S112M+, the longest model available, because of its wide lure capacity. Given that this area has shallow waters and the places where fish are likely to be found are often farther away, I wanted to cast as far as possible with a longer rod. Handling a long rod can be challenging, and especially with this stiffer rod, maintaining proper casting technique is important. Personally, I like this stiffness. It gives a strong sense of the rod's responsiveness during casts and provides clear feedback when retrieving the lure. Additionally, the rod is very lightweight overall, so it doesn't tire you out much when casting. With a well-balanced reel, casting could become even easier. Next, let's try a lightweight lure. The Maria Pop Queen F80 is a 13-gram popper that has been around for quite a while, but it's still widely loved for its ability to handle inputs smoothly and its overall ease of use. Naturally, casting light lures far is challenging. The Pop Queen is known for its stable flight posture and decent casting distance. But with the PE 1.2 line, the distance is somewhat limited. However, the responsive blanks of this rod make quick actions very easy to perform. Due to its length, even a small movement can produce a strong action, so adjusting to achieve the desired action is necessary. Nevertheless, the rod's movements are directly transmitted to the lure, making it easier to control. Now, please excuse me for moving quickly through this. There are many scenes I want to show you. Next, let's switch to a slightly heavier reel. We'll use the SHIMANO 2021 Twin Power XD C5000 XG, which weighs 245 grams, slightly heavier than the Stella at 210 grams. Although this reel was featured in a previous reel review video, I'm focusing on the rod this time and will reintroduce it. The lure will be the same as before. The Jado Products Erda Garuru 132, a 20-gram lure. The balance is definitely better with this setup. Since the carbon monocoque grip is lighter, the slightly tip-heavy balance seems to shift towards the handle. Despite the strong wind on this day, This setup feels easier to cast, and it seems like the tip speed has improved slightly. When the rod and reel are well balanced, the rod's rotation speed at the handle increases. Even though the overall weight of the tackle is higher, it feels less tiring to use because it's easier to handle. Additionally, you don't need to exert extra effort to increase the rod's rotation speed, which allows for smoother casting. This results in a better sense of distance. Alright, let's keep moving along. Let's use the same lure as before. The Dual Hardcore Monster Shot 95. With the 11 feet 2 inches length and the 40-gram lure, there was a strong tip-heavy feel previously. Let's see how it performs this time. Naturally, the feeling with this setup is improved as well. Because the 40-gram lure is heavy, the reel feels slightly light relative to the rod and reel balance. However, the overall balance is better than with the Stella, making it easier to cast. The improved balance makes it more apparent how the butt section bends and casts the heavy lure more smoothly. Additionally, it might be the benefit of the Magnum light rotor, but the tail action of the Monster Shot feels a bit more responsive as well. Next, let's change the reel again and match it with the 2024 Twin Power, which we recently reviewed. This model has a 15-gram weight increase due to the metal rotor, bringing its total weight to 260 grams. The lure we'll use is the lightweight Shimano Silent Assassin F99 Flash Boost, which weighs 14 grams. Personally, I think this combination might be the best. The rotation at the handle becomes smoother, allowing you to maintain a more natural casting posture without exerting unnecessary force. This ease of rotation is especially noticeable with lightweight lures. The Silent Assassin, with its weight shifting system, generally casts well for its weight, but with the benefit of the infinity loop, it flew beautifully. I think I'll stick with this combination for my surf fishing for a while. Next, let's move on to metal jigs. My favorite, the Jado Products Rezan 40 Grey. Since the introduction of the new gold and silver colors, as well as 2 types of glow finishes, I've been rotating among these 4 colors exclusively. Apologies for the poor visibility on screen. Ideally, I would have liked to show this more clearly, but the smoothness of the line release and the overall feeling are outstanding. This is characteristic of the super slow oscillation. As long as line trouble isn't an issue, I believe this system is very well suited for long rods in surf fishing. The casting feeling has improved even more compared to the review with the Twin Power XD, making it easier to cast. When casting heavier lures, you might feel a stronger sensation of being pulled by centrifugal force, but it seems easier to control and manage. The rod's ability to bend properly with the weight provides a solid feeling of distance. Additionally, the good weight balance allows for responsive actions, especially during fast-paced jerking. For slower jerking, some might not feel much difference, but the appropriate rod stiffness offers good response and crisp actions during faster jerking. Finally, let's discuss using the 2018 Stella during an actual fish encounter. On that day, we were fortunate enough to spot bust-ups right in front of us, so I quickly cast a sinking pencil, the Buttobi Kun 95S. The rod's strength was evident during the hook set, ensuring that the hook was securely embedded. While the fish wasn't particularly large, I never felt uneasy during the fight. The rod effectively subdued the fish while providing the necessary power to bring it in. The rod feels like a regular fast action, bending nicely from the tip to about 1/3 of the way down to cushion the impact from the fish, and then providing solid power from there to the butt to guide the fish in. Previously, I used a much softer rod for surf fishing, and I had issues with 40 cm or bluefish overpowering the rod. I experienced problems such as losing fish due to hookouts in the surf or getting stuck in rocks. However, the Nessa XR offers a great balance of lightweight and power, making it effective in bringing fish in reliably. Additionally, even though this rod has been on the market for 3 years and I have used it for that long, it remains durable. Despite being a 3-piece rod, which is often criticized for being weaker and more prone to breaking, This rod continues to perform exceptionally well without any issues, easily handling full casts with 40-gram jigs. Conclusion: Shimano 2021. Nessa XR is a great rod that's lightweight yet has good sensitivity and powerful action. The 2021 Nessa XR inherits the characteristics of Shimano's fishing rods, featuring a stiffer, more responsive design. Thanks to nano-alloy technology, it has been significantly lightened compared to older models. However, it's not overly stiff. It still bends appropriately where needed. This makes it a great match for the extremely lightweight spinning reels of recent years. If you're looking for a rod with a firm and sharp feel, this model is highly recommended. Conversely, if you prefer a softer rod, you might want to consider surf rods like the Daiwa over there. This rod is designed primarily for flatfish fishing from the surf, but as long as you adhere to the sinker capacity, it can also be used for fresh bait fishing. However, since it's not specifically designed for bait casting reels, I wouldn't recommend using it with reels intended for bait fishing due to potential mismatches in guide settings. Additionally, the grip end has been updated to a carbon monocoque grip, which slightly alters the weight balance. For longer models like this, you should pay extra attention to the balance with your reel. While it can certainly be used with C3000 class reels, I personally recommend a 4000 size reel for Shimano rods. While Shimano recommends pairing this rod with their own reels, it can also be compatible with Daiwa reels. If you're using a Certate, consider the 4000C or 5000C with a monoline backing. When comparing the two, you may not notice much difference during action, but when casting, the Certate may feel slightly tip-heavy compared to the Twin Power. For similar reasons, you might want to avoid Shimano's MGL series. If you already own a Certate, it should work well enough. Consider this as one perspective when deciding which reel to pair with the rod. Comparison to 2024 Nessa SS. The 2024 Nessa SS was announced this year and is scheduled for release in October as a lower-tier model. Since it's not yet available, we can only compare its specifications at this point. The Nessa SS is designed with a more flexible blank construction, so it may have a softer blank compared to the XR. In terms of features, the XR includes Spiral X core technology, while the SS uses standard Spiral X. These differences may affect the overall stiffness and responsiveness of the rod. Additionally, the SS does not feature the carbon monocoque grip found in the XR, and it lacks the Toray nano-alloy designation. The impact of these differences is not entirely clear yet, and the exact weight of the SS is not available at this time. It is likely that the SS will be slightly heavier than the XR. However, because the SS is designed with a more flexible blank, it might be easier to cast, particularly for beginners, compared to the firmer and more responsive XR. Currently, it seems that the XR is a lighter, stiffer rod with a sharp action, while the SS is expected to be softer and easier to cast. With the XR having been on the market for 3 years and stock becoming scarce, the new SS is highly anticipated. It will be interesting to see if a bait casting model similar to the XR will be released in the future. I hope this video serves as a useful reference, and I believe selecting gear that you personally like and find good will enhance your fishing experience. I would greatly appreciate it if you could give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. Once the channel becomes monetized, we might even consider holding a giveaway. If you have any requests for reviews of specific items, please let me know in the comments. However, please note that reviews will generally be limited to JDM, Japanese domestic market gear. I hope you get a little closer to catching your dream fish. Thank you for watching.